Hey everybody, I'm Yvonne Williams with Back to Earth Creations, and in this video I want to show y'all how to stiffen a leather mask with thermoplastic, which you can use scrap. Here I'm using Terraflex from Candy Leather, and I wanted to show you guys kind of these two masks were made with about a 4 to 5 ounce leather, and they hold their shape pretty well. Like this one's 4 ounce and this one's 5 ounce. I really prefer the 5 ounce just because you can see it held the shaping over the nose a lot better. If future Yvonne remembers to, there'll be links up on the screen taking you to the tutorial showing you how to make your own leather mask. And then also, even though I'm using these techniques for a mask, you could use it as bag stiffener for like a purse, for bracelets, for, here I actually did a trial piece on some oil tanned for doing like little leaves. I don't know, I mean, you could use this technique for so many different things. I just happened to have a mask on hand that was made out of like a 2 ounce leather, and you can see it's very flimsy. It's not wanting to hold its shape with the sculpting and everything on the face, so it's just, I'm having some problems with it. So I'm going to be going through with this scrap Terraflex and stiffening up the backside. So the materials that you'll need will be your leather of choice. It would probably adhere better to leather that has not been sealed, but I'm going to be applying it to sealed leather, so hopefully we'll see how that goes. And then also you will need a heat gun of your choice, and then I'm working on like a wooden surface, that way I can heat it up and it's not going to warp. So let me get the camera turned around for you guys and we'll get started. So also, an additional tool that I have here with me is this glass head that I got from Pier 1 Imports. But again, there'll be tools or links to all the different tools and materials down below. But I just wanted something other than my actual flesh face that I can shape this nose ridge onto, as well as get like kind of a roughly face shaped mask happening. And I didn't want to use styrofoam. So that's a pretty rough, like ish nose shape. So I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm going to come around to the back side of our mask, and this is actually some scrap that was left over from whenever I was making my mermaid costume, and I'm going to use it as just a little bit of a stiffener, again around like the face area. And I don't know if I want to have it, yeah, I'm going to have it like this. So I'm just going to draw. The nice thing about thermoplastics is you don't really have to worry about like scrap, because you can recompile it together. Like this was made just using gobs of extra like scrap Terraflex. So let me zoom in a little bit more for you guys. So I'm just going to kind of shape this around because I don't want it peeking down into the eyeball area. So there's that. And so I'm going to start by cutting along there. And you can use, these are just regular like $1 scissors. They aren't the fanciest thing in the world, but they get the job done. Okay, so there's that. I'm just going to trim right there too. So again, now just drawing and trimming. Now I could have, if I wanted to, like if this were a very thin leather, like cut out the whole leaf shape and then applied it to the whole backing. But the part of the point here is to utilize as much of the scrap material as I can. Hey doggies. Little dog noises in the background. And so just coming in, again, trimming down. Because leather will become softer over time, and so this thermoplastic backing will hopefully help keep things a little bit more rigid. Now, I don't want any to peek over through the back, so there we are. So yeah, not exactly, you know, I don't know, it looks weird, but hopefully it'll work. I'm gonna shape down these sharper corners because the face is a sensitive area. So I don't want just a whole bunch of like potentially sharp and pointy things poking us in our face. So there we are. And then I'm going to probably use this part here as a stiffener for this part of the leaf. So I'm just gonna, yeah, I think I'll put it on like that. So I'm going to trim a little bit down. We only need a little bit of overlap. This stuff sticks to itself really well. Okay, so I think that'll do us. And then I'm also going to do a strip over each cheek. Which again, we only need just enough to really get like a bit of the shaping going. So I'm kind of just trimming up my scrap. Because once we get past this under the eye part, the little straps on the sides will help keep it shaped around how we need it to be. And also, I'm going to give it a little bit of a scoop in, just to be accommodating for the eye holes. Okay, and I do want them to touch right there, because again, the shape that it ends up taking will translate really well. Okay, so now it's heat gun time. I'm not going to put this into like sped up time lapse because if this is your first time working with a thermoplastic project, I want you to have a very realistic idea of how long it's going to take. And also, the leather will be completely unfazed by the heat. I mean, as long as you don't have the gun on it, it holds up really well. Heat me with my heat gun. Doo-doo. Now also, just to point out before we really get going, there's a shiny side and a not shiny side, or a dull side, I guess. I don't really care which side faces down. I'm just doing it this way. So, and once it gets heated up, it kind of loses that shine anyhow. So I don't know if one side is stickier than the other. But just wanted to point that out. Now, I don't know if you can hear me over the heat gun, or what kind of audio quality, but you can see it's starting to drape and relax to the shape of the leather. So before I go too much further, I want to, yeah, it was already starting to stick a little bit. I want to go ahead and get this positioning down so that I don't end up having any weird little bumps or anything like that going on. Now also, get up in there. I don't want that showing. So we can overlap it and we can smush it a bit. And I'm really just gonna grind this in to the fibers of the leather because I really want it to stay nice and stuck on there. Because you can see with this one, the oil tan, it didn't bind to very well. Like, you can kind of peel it off, but it's taken some of those leather fibers with it. So I want to make sure that we have a really nice connection with the adhesive in here. So we can heat it up some more. so there we are. And we, ouch, that's hot. I should be using a tool. So let me see what we can use. Boom. Paintbrush handle. So you can take that and just roll it in a little bit. That smooths it down. You could use any kind of sculpting or modeling tool, just however you like. And I'm just blending this around. It almost has a dough-like consistency. I wouldn't say clay-like, but like a really glutinous bread dough. Sorry, I'm hungry. So rolling this out. Okay, and you can see that one, it wanted to stick to the brush like that. And so, so it did. Now I gotta get it off the brush. So that's a nice little scrap. So, but if you just kind of really press it in though, then you won't have to worry about that as much. Was this the other piece I was going to use on my cheek, or did it fall down? I don't know. Okay, so here's this one I'm going to keep heating. If you start to smell a little bit of burning, check your leather. It might be burning. You can also dampen your fingers a little bit and use that to kind of smush on. And be real careful. I'm kind of haphazard with this stuff, but I'd like to be like, oh, it's because I know what I'm doing. And it's like, no, just do as I say, not as I do. Like, be careful that you don't burn or blister yourself. I'm just taking it, really rubbing it in nice and flush to the leather. I'm not worrying nearly so much right now about the shaping of the thermoplastic as I am about just getting it good and ground in there. Other side of the nose piece. Okay, here we go. I'm going to make sure there's no little pokey bits, no little sharp edges. This is a super sensitive area of the face. Another thing that I think is really nice about this is if I were selling this out of my booth or on my Etsy, which I will actually be posting this mask and these two masks on my Etsy store. Links are down in the video description. But whoever ends up taking this one home with them will be able to heat this up with like even just a regular old hairdryer, and then very carefully, emphasis on carefully, shape it around to your face. Emphasis on carefully, guys. I cannot emphasize that enough. You have one face, please be kind to it. Okay, so here we are. And you can see it's still quite soft, so there's still a good bit of flex to it. I almost don't even feel like I need to heat it up anymore before putting it over. This is Headley Lamar. Is it Heady or Headley? I think we call it Heady, just to be funny. Make fun of the old Mel Brooks Blazing Saddles. Never mind. So it's still quite warm. And we're going to want to be careful because this will want to stick to the glass, I'm pretty sure. But we'll test it out and see. Really pressing. The bridge of the nose is a spot where I feel like it's got to have a good solid shaping because otherwise it'll look flat and kind of silly. And on these masks here, they were thick enough to be able to hold the wet molding. But this one, I don't know if it was just a little too milled or what, like what I was doing wrong, but I couldn't get it to be shaped quite as much as what I wanted. So, hooray for thermoplastic. Okay, so now, even now, we can just take it off and it has a much better nose shape going on. And now that it's cooled a bit more, but it still feels a little flexible, I'm going to flip this around real quick and shape it onto my face and see how we're feeling. Okay, so glasses off. Real careful, like future Vaughn, I hope we do not regret this. Yeah, I have a much deeper nose ridge. Ooh, it is still a little warm, but that feels good. It feels like compress, like hot compress kind of warm. It's pretty nice. And I'm pressing pretty firmly into my face. There's a little bit of... it burnt the edge of the leather right there on the nose piece. So that was poking me. And I was like, why is that pokey? Okay, so I'm going to put this on over my giant noggin. And pull nice and tight. That feels much better. Now also, with this sharp little edge here, it's curved in a little bit more than what my bulbous nose, the little bulb at the end of my nose feels comfortable with. So I'm just getting in there with my fingers and opening it up some. Oh, that's much better. So there we are, you guys. An autumn leaf mask with some nice face shaping backed with thermoplastic. And now also, if you don't like the way that the plastic feels on your face, you could line this with lambskin or pigskin or suede, all kinds of different things. And then also, if you are adverse to using leather at all, you could use a fabric front that you've painted with thermoplastic completely on the inside and then lined with another fabric that's more absorbent. But yeah, so there we are, guys. That's how we do it. So if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, I do love hearing from y'all. You can leave comments down below. You can post pictures to my Facebook wall, and you can also tag me on Instagram. So again, links are down below. And then also, if y'all enjoy my free tutorials and would like to support the creation of them, the daily creation of them, please consider checking me out on Patreon. Even as much as just $1 a month can go such a long way in keeping everything that we're doing here at Back to Earth Creations rolling hopefully smoothly. And it also enters you into all of our giveaways. And the more you pledge, the more you get. So we also do digital download content. So you could print off the very same template that I use for these masks and kind of follow along with my tutorials with me. And then we also do monthly craft crates. So again, links are down below. So please check it out. Let me know what you think. And out until next time, happy crafting. Bye.